What's up, Johnnies? It's Courtney from The Bolt here with a brand new episode of Storm Chasers. I know it's been a while, but I'm glad to say we're back. Today, our episode is going to be getting to know your student government. Oh, I thought you were going to say hi.
Hi, I'm Brian. I'm the president of the Bolt.
And today we have someone here from student government who we're going to interview and ask a bunch of questions relating to student government in case any of you are interested in joining. So if you'd like to introduce yourself by saying your name, year level, major and minor, and position in student government.
So my name is Raja Guevara. I am a junior communications arts major, and I am president of student government for the year 2020-2021.
So let's start off with our first question, which is, what are some of your responsibilities or duties as president? So sort of give us a rundown daily of the job.
So for student government president, it's a little, well, for now during the pandemic, it's a little harder than usual. Student government president would be part of all committees that handle with budgeting, handle elections, handle events around campus. But due to the pandemic, the ones that handle campus events aren't really there. I also do general body meetings with student government with the executive board and the Senate. So we have bi-weekly meetings. I'm also responsible for each senator. So each senator has an event per semester. We have senators per class and for each school and as well for commuters. We have a resident for this semester, but next semester, since there won't be any more residents, we won't have a resident senator. And it's just me overlooking what events they plan. If they're not planning, I would just be the one stepping up. I have various meetings with David from Student Life. He's a Student Life advisor. And I think that's pretty much all of it.
You get your own office, right, in the campus center I saw?
Yeah, I got my own office. It's one of like the pros of being student government president.
I was going to say that's pretty cool. The next question is, you kind of already answered it, but what other specific positions besides student president are there in SGI?
So for SGI, the e-board consists of a vice president, secretary, a treasurer, and a student union chairperson. And like I said about the senators, we have senators the freshman senator shows up more like after a month or two into the school year. So we have freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, and then we have a senator for Tobin College of Business, for CCPS, a senator for St. John's College, a senator for School of Ed, and we also have, like I said, the commuter senators and the resident senator.
Okay, so the senators who are for each year, they would organize events pertaining to each year level, I guess, and same thing with the college, events geared towards those programs.
Yeah, so each senator needs to be part of the group they're representing to make it easier, to make it, seem so they're in the shoes of the students. And yeah, so it would be like freshmen probably would have an event to meet clubs and organizations. A sophomore might start looking into career services. A junior might be looking also into career services for internships, for jobs, and stuff like that. So then the senator would go with career services, have a collaboration, and then have that event. For seniors, it's usually the senior senator would plan out the senior week, would plan out stuff for seniors.
What usually goes on during senior week? I'm curious.
During senior week, what they did last semester. Last semester it was all.
Last year.
Yeah.
Last time campus was open.
It was 2 years ago. Well, not last spring, but the spring before that when they had stuff for seniors. It would be they had a dinner. I remember had a dinner. They had trips to like Six Flags to go mini golfing. Stuff like that. Stuff where like seniors could enjoy other seniors and have fun. Last semester it was completely gone. Now this semester we're working on something that's safe for everyone, probably something virtual, and trying to honor all our seniors.
Oh, wow, that's cool. I think Greek life, they also have their own week of events, right?
Yeah, Greek life has their own week of events. I'm not too
Student
familiar.
government doesn't handle that?
No. Student government. It's under student life. So student life handles that, and then student government handles like senior week. That's like
Okay.
together but separate.
Oh, okay. Next question is, what events would student government usually be responsible for putting together if everything hypothetically was normal right now? So I know some of them include the autumn ball, the spring fling. I know of those two, but what others are there? I know you mentioned senior week.
So so we have open forums and stuff like that for students. So those are pretty unique as well. So like open forums, they have like at least one per semester where like students would show up, tell us about any complaints, any issues they have on the campus, something that we probably didn't see, and then they would just talk upon that, and then we would try to fix or find a solution to that issue. Other ones would be the open year barbecue.
Oh, right. I was thinking of that one.
Yeah, open year barbecue, that was really good. We had those are the signature events. So these are the signature events. We had the open year barbecue, like you said, autumn ball. We also had the end of year barbecue, the senior week. We also co-sponsored for the New York Blood Center blood drive. So we were also part of that, and we would co-sponsor in the spring fling with Student Life.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, so those are like our biggest events, and then each center would have their own event.
Didn't St. John's, before everything happened, have like food trucks?
Yeah,
once
they had
a
like a
week?
week of food trucks. They used to have the ice cream truck every Monday.
Yeah.
And then there was like 1 week where they had, I think like Buy a Bar came one day,
Yeah.
and then Beans and Leaves came another day. They did like a whole week of
So
that.
those were like events from the senators.
That was also
Yeah,
by student
so it was
government.
like maybe like I remember before we went. So last fall, I remember I think the senior senator was having like a de-stressor day, and they were just giving pizza for students, and just to de-stress, just to stop thinking about school. So yeah, those are the events that we would be hosting.
Yeah, I know they also have like holiday events. So like they'll have an event for like Halloween or.
Yeah, we would
Okay.
if we wanted, we could also co-sponsor with Student Life, but then again, that would be like Student Life hosting those events.
So like, what's the main difference between student life and student government? Because it seems like they're overlapping a lot.
Yeah, they do overlap. It's like student life is like, look at it like a tree, right? Like a tree. Student life is like the tree trunk, and then student government is like one of the branches.
Oh, okay, I
So
see.
yeah, so it's pretty much that. So anything we do, not anything, but most of the things we do, if it hasn't been done before, we have to go through our advisor, which is David Gajiko, and he would like tell us, okay, go for it or no, or he'll help us out. So we would have to go through him, and he's the assistant director of student life.
Okay, so other events like Family Day. There was a Family Day, I think, too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That would also be.
Student life,
Okay.
like Johnny's birthday. I think it was one of them too, or like
Oh,
the
I
Johnny
didn't know
Fest.
that.
It was Johnny Fest. That's what it was.
Oh, I didn't know that one. What's
Mhm.
that one? What kind of things did I do for Johnny Fest?
I think it was just like a celebration for Johnny, just for students could come along together. Like they had like the bouncy houses and stuff like that.
Oh, that's cool.
Like the foods.
Next question. So we talked about what student life would usually be responsible for putting together, but since everything this school year is online, what events can we expect to see from SGI this semester? I know last semester we had a lot of game nights and cahoots. They were fun, but are you planning more stuff like that? Different stuff? What can we expect to see this semester?
So this semester has been like a little complicated because we can't have like in-person events, and those are like our best. We would like have we would have shirts for students to join whatever event we would be having. Our senators are still having their events, so they're having like a sophomore senator is having an event with career services that talks about finding internships. Like even with these remote times, people are still looking for dedicated students who would want internships at this time, and people think you can't find a job now, but if you look hard enough and you get the right resources, then you could find one. Our community center is having another game night. It's Thursday, so it's today at 6:30.
March 11th, because I'm assuming this is going to be uploaded later, so
Yeah,
probably
okay.
past.
Yeah.
So our sophomore senator would have it March 15th, Monday during common hour. Our School of Education senator is having 2 events this semester, one on March 17th and one on March 24th. The first one she's collaborating with Forever Friends, and then her second one she's collaborating with School of Ed. Our Tobin senator is having one on Thursday, March 18th for Tobin students. Again, these events are dedicated for each class, but it's not limited for that class, or we can say for that group of students. So if somebody wanted to go to like a Tobin senator event, they can. We're not gonna say you can't go, just to see what it's like, just to see what, maybe if you're indecisive, then you could just go to different types of events. Like I said, it's open for everybody.
Yes, anybody can go to any event.
Yeah, pretty much anybody could do whatever they feel is best. And I think those are the events we have planned so far. We're planning for senior week. Our senior senator Jacqueline Lepore, she's trying to do a fun senior week. It's still in the process because it's a little complicated with how in the situation we're in, and with following guidelines. I don't think anything will be in person. Everything is probably gonna be virtual, either by Instagram or WebEx, Zoom, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's in the works too.
Is there any end of the year events for, like, besides senior week for other years? Or is it too far to tell right now?
As of now, no. I think we're gonna start planning because the semester flies by so quick.
Yeah, it's already almost pretty much half over.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like midterm week now, I think.
Yeah.
That's
So
crazy.
if we are gonna do something, probably be like the week before finals. Like I said, we're very limited to what we do.
Mm-hmm.
But if we could get something done, maybe get some shirts out or something like that, we're probably gonna do that.
Yeah, I think a lot of other clubs are feeling the same way. They want to organize
Yeah.
events, but they're limited with what they can do. So
Mhm.
it's hard to think of ideas.
Because it's already hard to get students involved, and
Yeah.
now with Zoom, maybe some don't want to go to an event right after they were 2 hours in their class online. So they're like, okay, maybe I just take a break, and they take like common hour for a break before the next class. So they really don't want to be on the screen anymore.
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
like when you're already on campus going to class, if there's like something going on in the cafeteria, it's easier just to walk down there and check out what's going on versus
Yeah.
like trying to log on into Zoom. And people are like more lazier at home.
Yeah, no, because even when they were having events on campus, it was like, oh, what's going on over here? There's a lot of people. So you would just pull up, even if you didn't know what was the club or anything.
Yeah.
You would just see, they're like, okay, they're right there.
Like you walk into the cafeteria to get lunch, and like there would always be a table at the front door, like
Mhm.
having some sort of bake sale or something.
Yeah, that was where like everybody was involved. Or sometimes I remember my sophomore year, where like there'll be like 7 meetings in one day, and you'll be like, where do I go? What do I do? And it's like you gotta decide. But now it's like everything is online, and people feel like you said, like maybe like a little
Yeah.
lazy to like look for the Zoom ID or the meeting ID, and they're like, no, you know what? I'll just not go.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's a big adjustment because, like you said, people on their screens all day.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to want to spend 2 more hours on a screen.
Yeah, so some of our senators like do their event during common hour. Some of them do like later at night, like 6:30, 7:30. Like the one for today, he's gonna do it at 6:30. Other ones do it like midday. Either it's common hour. If they don't do it during common hour, they're probably gonna do it like later that night.
Yeah.
Like our School of Education senator is having both events on Wednesday, and both of them are at 7:30. So like right after, like, you know, people had their breaks, and it doesn't. And that's what we also noticed from student government, that a lot of students wouldn't go to so many events during school hours. They would prefer to do it after school hours.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is a student government event. It was in person, the movie nights on the grass, on the lawn.
Those were also
Student
student life.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like the drive-in movies
Yeah.
were like student life.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I actually do have a question. So I know we talked about like, you know, what you do in student government, but like why did you decide to join? Like what made you decide to join at first, and then how did you work your way up to presidents?
So my freshman year, I think it was my freshman year, my first semester, I was very, you could say, like, shy.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do anything on campus. I would just go home. I would go to work. I would just come from my class and then leave. I wouldn't stay around. But then I'm like, I thought about it, and I'm like, it's my college years. Because in high school, I wasn't really involved either. But I'm like, you know what, college is a little different, so let me get a little involved. So then my freshman year, when elections started coming around, the info session came around, I was like, you know what, let me try to join student government. I haven't joined anything. Well, at that time, I was joining different departments, like the Office of Multicultural Affairs, Career Services. I applied to be a rotation leader. I was seeking those leadership positions. And then when student government was also having their applications, were having info sessions, I'm like, that's going to really throw me off out of my comfort zone. So let me try that. So then I did. I got sophomore senator for that year, which was last year. I had an event with Career Services in the beginning of the semester. And then towards the end of the semester, since everything went virtual, everything went online, we couldn't have a lot of events. We really didn't. Everything went like blurry. I don't know if you remember, but everything was just like in the air. Nobody knew what was going on. People were trying to adjust to the virtual world. So I couldn't have my second event. But what really pushed me to be student government president was one of my friends. She's a grad. She's a grad student now. Her name is Gianna Federico, and I thank her so much for it, because we were in a service trip at Kissimmee, Florida, Give Kids the World, and she introduced me to the group as Mr. Future Student Government President, and I'm like, I didn't even think about presidency, but like once she put that in my head, like I couldn't get it out, and I'm like, I'm gonna think about it, like. So she really pushed me to it. She just like sparked that idea. And then from there, during I think it was like April, it was like March, April, when elections were going on and everything was happening with COVID, I wasn't too sure if I was gonna run, just because the situation I was going through. Like my dad was he got COVID, so it was very severe. And he was in the hospital those days, so I was thinking about him, like, hey, I kind of don't want to do this. I should just focus on my dad. I should, I wasn't too sure what I was gonna do. But my friends and family like also pushed me. They're like, hey, do it. You're good for you'll be a good fit, and you should definitely do it. You should definitely join and run for SGI president. So for my sophomore year, I was unopposed. For my junior year as student government president, I did have another runner-up. So it was fun, and it was terrifying at the same time. It was fun because you didn't know what was gonna happen. It was terrifying again because you didn't know what was gonna happen. And it was the first, like when I got the sophomore senator position, it was like, okay, I was unopposed. I got it, good.
Yeah.
But then when I was running against someone else, it was like, oh, it gets you. It's a little nerve-wracking. So for that, I was like, you know what, I'll continue. I'll definitely, submit my application, do all the other requirements for student government to run for student government. And then when elections came around, I got voted to be student government president. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people can learn from that story, to just take the initiative and get involved. I know similarly, like I never got involved in high school because my high school didn't have extracurriculars. It was a very small charter school. So then in college, I was like, let me take the opportunity. But I didn't do it my first semester of freshman year, similar to you. And then, seeing you get involved, I hung out in the multicultural office. And then, I got involved with other clubs like the Balt, Comm Club. So definitely, I would say for students out there to just, if you're nervous about it, I guess take the first step and get involved.
Yeah, you just at least try it, because you're not going to know, like, if you don't try, like, if you're going to like it or not.
One of the things I learned from my freshman year, it was just showing up. That was it. And at first I didn't understand. I'm like, what do you mean showing up? But then if you think about it, the first step anybody needs to take is showing up. So if you're not sure about, like for now, student government, if you're not sure about student government, the first step is show up to an info session. That's it. You only got to show up. And then if you don't like it, or if you don't like what student government stands for, then you don't do it. But at least you showed up and you checked it out. So like with other things too, with like if you want to join, like for now, orientation leader, just show up. Be like, I need an application. Do the application. That's you showing up, and that's half the battle already. So yeah, so it's definitely just going for it. Even if you're like nervous or you never done anything like that, the first step is just showing up, taking that first step to like see what happens. Because if we just stay in the comfort zone, it's like you don't grow as a person. You don't seek anything different. So how could you possibly go, or how could you possibly be exposed to different ideas or different positions if you don't go for them? So definitely show up. Yeah.
I feel like it's one of those situations where it's like it can only be good. Like the worst that could happen is you don't join, it's not your fit, and you find something else.
Yeah. Exactly.
Next question is, what are the best parts of being on student government? I know you mentioned one of the perks being that you have your own office and the campus center. What other best parts would you say are there?
Yeah, well, the office is definitely a plus, because like with now you can't really take your mask off and you really can't be around people. But like now with your office, it's like you just stay there by yourself. Nobody else is there. I mean, it's a little like sad that the student government office like itself is empty. Like I remember the years before, it was always full. There was always people. It was always alive. But having my office is it's pretty cool. Others, I guess just dealing with different students, dealing with different administrators. So I met a lot of people from Queens, in Queens campus. A lot of leadership from Queens who either they reached out to me. Were like, hey, I'm so and so. If you need anything, let me know. So just the connections, just getting my name out there, and they know who I am. Like over here, Dr. Keith and David, we have a good communication going. So they're I'm doing the best they can, and they're there to support me as well. So it's definitely that. And it's like aside from administration, the senators also a nice experience working with different individuals. Because like student government gave me a whole different, you could say a whole different experience of leadership, with the meetings, with talking to all senators, with everything going on. It's nothing like I've done before. Like it's like student government for me, it has been like another class. Mm-hmm. So I'm taking like 6 classes this semester, and with student government, it's like my 7th class because it's time consuming. But I like it because I learned a lot from it as well. Yeah,
definitely. Does student government you mentioned before collaborations with Forever Friends, they have events. Do they do events with other organizations like ComArts or English Club, things like that?
Yeah, I think the CCPS senator had an event with ComArts last semester. Our Tobin senator, she's also president of Women in Business, Muslim Student Association. So I think they had collaborations. We're open to it. So I told senators if they want to collaborate with any club organization that works best for their students, they could do it. And some of them have, like other have had collaborated with other departments, not so much clubs. And then others decide to do clubs, others decide to go solo. It's up to the senators what they think would be best for the students.
You mentioned one of the best parts being connecting with people from Queens. Is that also something that student government does? Does student government in Staten Island collaborate with student government in Queens? Like, how does that work?
This semester, well, like last semester, towards the end of the spring semester of 2020, we collaborated and united with SGI in Queens. And the thing is, it's pretty cool, meeting the president over there. I talked to the president, and we have a good communication going. But it's just a little complicated because the issues that we have are completely different from the ones that Queens has. And the student government in Queens has way more students than we do. And each senator has different students. Like, for example, for us, our senior senator has maybe like 260 seniors just to worry about. But in Queens, they have like 2,000 seniors. Wow. And they have 2 more schools than we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have experience in Queens.
Yeah, they have like 6. You know how like, we have like the 4 colleges like CCPS, like Tobin and stuff. They have like 2 more on top of that.
So even that they're I think the e-board's the same, just their Senate is a little bit bigger.
Yeah, I can assure. The experience is different, right, Brian?
Yeah,
You've
it's definitely it's
been
like
there.
it feels like you're at a different college while you're there.
Yeah, it feels completely different. So we had communication with them, and like, we still do. If you want to reach out to them, they'll be available for us. But like I said, the issues are completely different.
Yeah.
Like they're going through other things than we are, so we can't really help them, and they really can't like they have their own things to worry about.
Yeah, makes sense. So the flip side of this question would usually be the worst part, but we're not going to be that negative. So we're going to say, what's the hardest part of being student?
And what are some struggles you go through?
Yeah.
Okay, so the hardest and the struggles. I would say it's again, it would just be communicating with people. Well, it was hard at first, just because I wasn't really exposed to being in charge of so many people. So it's like you can't talk to everybody the same way. You got to find different ways to communicate with them. And with the DPE trainings that we've been having now, they also told us about each communication style that each individual has. So you kind of need to adapt to the communication style. And that was like I said, that was hard at first because I didn't really know. I knew them, but I didn't know how they were, what their communication style was. So at first, it was a little hard for me to be like, hey, I need to do this, or hey, I need you. I wasn't too sure how to approach them, but after the first semester, I think I'm doing pretty good. I don't think it's a struggle anymore, but that was definitely one of the biggest ones. Even with administration too, communication was a struggle, where like there was no communication going, where everybody was like, oh, I don't know, but like now it's clear, and we have a good communication going now with senators, e-board, administration. Everybody's like on the same page. Or we tried to be on the same page at least. And with students as well.
I feel like one struggle that came to my mind, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, I've never been in student government, but I feel like balancing it all, because you said you're taking 6 classes, so you have to balance academics, and usually if everything was normal, social life, if you're part of other organizations and clubs on campus, if you have a part-time job. So it's really... Is that like a struggle, like balancing it all, being the president?
I would say probably like in the beginning it was kind of a struggle, but now I try to plan everything out. So like if I know that, for example, this past Monday we had a student government meeting, so now I would know that if I want to get some work done, it would be probably after, just because I need to have the agenda ready. I need to send invitations out via WebEx and stuff like that. So at first it was where I was like, I don't have time. What's going on? Like, what is this class? But after I adjusted, I think I adjusted pretty quick too. Well, last semester I took 5 classes, so it was a little bit easier. Not this semester I'm taking 6, so it's a little harder. But after my first 2 weeks, I think first 2-3 weeks, I was able to put classes where like I wasn't so busy, because I'm taking 2 asynchronous classes, so.
It's more on your time.
Yeah, it's more on my time, and it's whenever I feel like it. So if I have like a rush of energy at 12 at midnight, then I might just do it then. If I don't, then I'm just do it in the morning. It's whenever I feel like I'm able to do it. But I don't like. Maybe at the beginning it was a little hard. In the beginning it was like a little complicated trying to balance everything. But now that I've kind of got the gist of it, I'm like, I'm doing good.
Yeah, I feel like that's sort of an advantage of where you being heavily involved on campus is sort of to your benefit, 'cause you're kind of used to that. Mm-hmm. Are you involved on other clubs and organizations on campus? I forgot to ask that.
So, like in other clubs and organizations as e-board, I wouldn't be.
You attend, but you're not.
Yeah,
an e-board member.
I'll be part of the club, I'll be part of the organization. Try to show up to their events, support their events, and if they have meetings, try to go to their meetings, stuff like that. Yeah, I've tried, because like I said, most of my friends are also part of e-boards, so just supporting them, it's the best thing I could do. And for, like I said, for orientation leader, I'm part of student life, the Department of Student Life. I'll be an orientation leader for them. For career services, I'm a career peer. The Office of Multicultural Affairs, I'm a diversity peer educator. And I think that's all. Yeah, I think that's what I'm doing now.
So a more personalized question. Are you going for, you're a junior, so it might
Yeah.
be a little early to ask. Do you know if you're going for a master's in graduate school yet?
So I'm junior, but I'm graduating this December, so I'm graduating.
Oh, you're graduating a
early.
semester early.
Yes, I'll be
Wow,
graduating a semester
congrats.
early. Thank you. I do plan on going for my master's, but like lately I've been thinking of maybe taking that semester for not so much for myself, but to probably go to another country, either to
Travel abroad.
to either like volunteer if I could find a job somewhere else, just to get that experience. Like I said, nothing's set in stone. It's just I'm just planning and brainstorming to see what would happen. I heard of this program that you could go to South and Central America, teach English, and live in the country for like 4 or 5 months.
Wow.
And then you just come back. So I'm thinking about that. I still don't know. I still don't have anything set in stone, but I want to do that, and then possibly fall of 2022.
Yeah. That would be when, if you graduated in June, that would be when you were starting graduate school anyway.
Yeah. So I wouldn't be like losing anything. I'll just be on track too.
Yeah. And you gain experience.
Yeah. That's the thing. I also want to gain experience in different areas, and it'll be a cool experience. So I'll definitely be like going back to school like in August, September. But if in those 7 months that I'm not in school, I find a job or something that I really like doing, then I might just stick to that.
Yeah, because the reason why I'm asking is, if the answer was yes, would you go to St. John's for a master's? And if so, this actually directly pertains to you because you're a communications major. I'm pretty sure St. John's has a dual program for students where they get a bachelor's in communication arts and a master's in government and politics. So would you consider after this experience getting a master's in government and politics, considering it's directly on your path anyway?
I don't know, just because I heard about the dual program, like dual degree program. They also have sociology. It's sociology or government and politics that you could do with a communications arts major. I don't know if I really want to continue or do something with politics. Like I'm not gonna like close it completely and be like I don't want to do it. I'm just not too sure where life will take me, and if I do, then I'll probably look into it. Because as of now, I'm just like what, student government president was good. It's good. It's a lot of work, like I said, but I don't know where I'm going or where my life is actually going, like where it's directing. Like I have an idea. But I don't know exactly. And sociology is also like a good. But like I said, like I first have to decide exactly what I want to do for my future for me to decide what program I'll join or what masters I'll get.
Yeah, I feel like you'll never really know though. Even after your master's, a lot of times people like encounter things, but it's good that you have like one of two paths in mind. My next question is, what have you taken away or gained from your experience on student government?
Oh, I have gained I gained a lot.
I could tell you gained a lot.
Yeah, no, it's just a completely different experience. Because being student government president, like I said, first the senators, then the clubs, organizations. The student government oversees all of it, and it's just. It's just a completely different experience. It's completely different. Where like, if I was part of an e-board as president, it wouldn't be the same as student government president. So I definitely learned a lot. Learned about time management. Learned about communicating. Learned about what works, what doesn't. And since we're in this virtual world now. Also, the fact that nobody has done student government online, and it's like, so how do we handle it?
Oh yeah,
like
you're the first.
Yeah, and there was like, there was no written book, there was no instructions on how to do it, because it didn't happen before.
Yeah, so like you're the first, you kind of overcame the obstacle.
Yeah, so we just had to like get SGI up and running, even during these times. So now we're ready, you know. Now we know what is going on. So now we could hope if this ever happens, going over continues even for the next year, we already know what works and what doesn't.
Yeah, it's sort of like when you have lemons, you make lemonade.
Yeah.
I feel like you also, from student government, especially in your case being the president, you gain a sense of leadership, which is a good thing to have.
Yeah, no, the leadership is like I said, it's a different experience as student government president, just because for me personally, like I do have leadership positions in school and then outside of school as well. For like my church, I'm also president for the youth group, and it's nothing related to student government youth group. Like, student government president, student government, you know, is nothing related to that. The youth group is like completely different. And even those two helped each other with like dealing with people. Again, going back to that, just knowing what communication styles to use, how to talk to them, how to approach them, stuff like that.
Yeah. A follow-up question could be, after college, when you graduate with a master's, because of this experience being student body president, could you see yourself after graduation getting involved yourself, possibly running for local political positions?
I don't.
Because I know, like, there's people that are like 21,
Yeah.
22 that like do get involved.
No, yeah, and like what Brian said, it's a lot. It's a lot of work. It would be, you know, being really, really involved.
That's like a full-time job. Like,
yeah,
like
and it's like a lot to think about too, because for me, like, I know that I don't want to work a 9-to-5 job. I don't know exactly what I want to do, but I just don't want to work a 9-to-5 job. And I feel like to do something with politics, I would definitely be working a lot more than that.
It's like a 24/7 job.
Yeah, in the office, you know. So I mean, I'm not closing that door. You could say I'm gonna leave it open. Maybe something does happen, but as of now, I just open to pretty much anything.
Yeah, it's definitely a big commitment getting involved in something like that.
Yeah.
So, are you running for president again? Can you run twice?
Yes, you could run twice. I was thinking about it, and I knew I had enough credits to graduate a semester early, but I wasn't too sure how the whole process worked. I spoke to my dean about it, and she said that I would be graduating in December, and that's like, well, passing my classes, you know, but that's like, you know, it's pretty not pretty easy, you could say. You just do the work and you pass the class. So I could have, but the thing is that I don't want to leave the presidency empty for half of the semester.
True, the
You know
half a year.
Yeah, so it wouldn't be really beneficial for SGI to find another president halfway through the semester. And one of the requirements is being part of student government for a year, like as in the Senate, and then you could apply for e-board. But I was trying to, you know, consider everybody else. It wouldn't be that very helpful. Even if the vice president stepped up, like the vice president would be very stressed with dealing with vice president and president responsibilities. So I'm gonna just step out, probably be in the sidelines, like telling them what to do, when to do it, stuff like that. But that I would run. I'm thinking no. But if they need me to step up, I'll probably step up. Not as president, probably step up as something else in the e-board. So my answer would be like no, but if they need me, I'll be down to be part of student government again.
Okay. And our last question, since student elections for the upcoming year 2021, 2022 are coming up, or are now actually, what are the steps other students can take to possibly run themselves? So
there's like 4 or 5 steps. So the first one would be attending an info session. We're having an info session. We had one last Thursday. We're having one today.
That's March 11th. Just keep in mind the date's probably going to be passed. So if you didn't do that, but if they did do that, then what would be the next steps?
The next step was submitting an application. The application just asks simple questions, you know, like your name, your major, your GPA, and then your resume. as well as you need signatures of support. So if, for example, if somebody wants to run for e-board, they would need 50 signatures of people who are like, yeah, we support you, go for it. And then if you're running for a Senate position, it will be 25 signatures. But you have to get those signatures from the people you're representing next semester.
Okay.
So, and that's I think that's like the hardest part of the application, just trying to find who the people who would sign and support you. The other thing would be,
So even as president, you needed signatures as well from students.
I needed 50 signatures like last semester.
Okay.
Last semester we needed 50 signatures just so you would be eligible to run. And the 50 signatures for e-board is from any class, any school, any position, any group of students. You could get those. After that, we have you would have to check the signatures. We would have to check if everything was good. If everything was good, then we will move on to the next step, and we would just let you know, hey, you could start your campaign. So this semester we're giving them, I think, 2 weeks of campaigning, and during those 2 weeks, there's a mandatory event. It's called Meet the Candidates. Usually, if it was in person, it would be all people running would just have to, say their name, their major. People would have to go and meet who are these candidates and why they should vote for them. Last semester, what we did like on Instagram, we used like the Reels and just posted people's responses. Like people met the candidates through their Instagram, and the videos are still up there from last semester, and that will be another mandatory event. After that, during the campaign time, and then it will just be elections. Elections this year would be the 8th and the 9th of April.
Yeah, at that point, it's pretty much just in the hands of the student body, and I guess they vote for who they want to win.
Yeah, so they pretty much decide. And anyone could decide for president. Anyone could decide for any position, and anyone can vote for those. Now, for the senators, you can only vote in the class and school you're in. So let's say 2 people running for CCPS, you would have to vote for either one of those 2. You can't vote really for Tobin. It wouldn't show. And we're doing it, the voting is going to be done online, like last semester.
Okay, yeah, so juniors can only vote for juniors and stuff like that.
Yeah,
for junior senator.
Yeah, it would be for like junior senator, sophomores for sophomores, freshmen for freshmen, and just like that.
Okay. Before we end it, what is the student government Instagram in case students want to follow it and get all the updates?
So the Instagram is at SGI_SI.
Okay. Well, thank you, Roger, for joining us.
Yes,
anything you want to say, or anything you want to say, Brian?
I think that's all for today. Anything else you want to add? Like any events coming up like immediately that you want to like?
You want to say to the people?
Not. I think just the sophomore Saturday will be on Monday, March 15th. The School of Education is having their event on March 17th and the 24th, and then our Tobin Center is having an event March 18th. And I think that's the events we have planned so far. I guess just keep an eye. Seniors, we need Instagram, not Instagram, baby pictures, and they must follow St. John's. I think it's SJU yearbook.
Yeah.
Oh right, I forgot about the yearbook. Is student government tied with yearbook?
That's a different. I think that's
a different club.
Yeah, it's a different. Like they're their own thing. But yeah, they need baby pictures. Mm-hmm. They need pictures in general. They just so seniors can have a yearbook that's not empty. So if there's anything, and it doesn't have to be seniors. It just has to be students.
Yeah. Are they still doing senior portraits?
Yeah,
the cap and gown photos.
The portraits would be, I think, they're the
April 15th to 17th.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you are a senior.
Yeah, I made sure. Like, I made my appointment. I'm like, I'm getting this picture done.
Yeah, it's just like Thursday and Friday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the portraits are coming up, too.
Yeah. Well, okay, I think that's it. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in and listening to Storm Chasers. We will be back soon for more content, updates about the Bolt. Please follow us on our Instagram at thebolt.sju. Right. All right. Thank you. I'm Courtney. This is Brian.
Yeah.
And I'm Raja Guevara.
And we'll see you all next time from the Vault. Bye.